Now at 9, visitors at Galena Mining and Historical Museum get to take a trip back in time. Plus,
pharmacists across the 4 states are encouraging legislators to take action against major companies controlling the drug market. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And Joplin police are investigating a shooting after a man was found injured in the Eastmoreland neighborhood last night.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pharmacists in the 4 states say their livelihoods are at risk as major companies try to take more control of the drug market. They're warning that pharmacy benefit managers, better known as PBMs, have an unfair advantage when it comes to filling prescriptions, and they're forcing more and more patients away from local pharmacies. But what are PBMs? They act as administrators for insurance companies for prescription drug companies. They're supposed to help negotiate for lower drug prices. As part of that job, they also determine which rebates pharmacies will receive certain medications. There are many PBMs but there are 3 companies that control a majority of the market. Caremark Rx, Express Scripts, and Optum Rx are all facing backlash from locally owned pharmacies and the Federal Trade Commission for what they consider anti-competitive practices. KUAM's Samantha Walker has more on this story.
I had a patient in the other day where she'd been coming to me for 50 years and she was being forced to leave and left here actually crying. It hurt me.
Pharmacist Brian Caswell is hoping to raise awareness about the actions of pharmacy benefit managers, known as PBMs.
Exploiting their influence across the board to where it's impacting patients' health and small businesses like ourselves.
Pharmacists say that while PBMs were originally independent from pharmacies and insurance companies, that's no longer the case. They say it's causing problems.
They started realizing they could make money off of not only the individuals that hired them to do it, but also the drug manufacturers, the pharmacies, the patients, and suddenly they're bringing in money from all around, and their profits have skyrocketed.
Major PBM companies now also own insurance companies and pharmacies. It's become a vertically integrated healthcare market, which local pharmacists say hurts pharmacies and patients while putting record high profits in PBM pockets.
Now they're self-referring. So now they're paying me, CVS Caremark pays me a claim, but oh, guess what? I'm competing with CVS Caremark on the retail side.
Pharmacists say the contracts they are offered are so low on most medications. In many cases, they're losing money when filling prescriptions. Patients' insurance companies will only allow them to get certain medications or go to certain pharmacies, most of which are supported or owned by one of those PBM companies. It's something the Federal Trade Commission is calling a conflict of interest. In a 2024 report, the FTC found that PBM, quote, significantly influence what drugs are available and at what price.
I used to be able to buy insulin for $10 a vial. Insulin got up to $600 a month. And the only reason it got up to $600 a month is the PBMs created formularies and they wanted rebates.
Originally, the role of a PBM was to help streamline the process for pharmacists and patients, all while negotiating for lower drug prices. But as now 3 major companies control roughly 80% of the market, pharmacists say they're now doing the exact opposite.
If you can't go to the pharmacy of your choice, you may have to drive 20, 30, maybe 100 miles to get to the next pharmacy that's under contract for that medication or for that contract itself.
The FTC has filed a complaint against the 3 largest PBM companies for engaging in anti-competitive and unfair rebating practices that have inflated the list price of insulin drugs. There's proposed legislation in each of the 4 states that would help regulate PBMs. For example, in Arkansas, there's a proposal that a PBM wouldn't be able to operate a pharmacy in the state. Pharmacy owners say it's important people speak up.
You don't have to be a pharmacist or a medical provider to learn more about what's going on.
At the end of the day, pharmacists say they just want a fair playing field.
I want an opportunity for fair competition. And I don't think anybody in this country would argue that that's not what every business person wants.
Reporting across the 4 states, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
On February 5th, hundreds of Kansas pharmacy workers will close shop to speak to state leaders in Topeka. More than 100 pharmacies in 56 counties will participate, hoping to encourage action against PBM practices in the state. Joplin police have begun an investigation into a shooting in the Eastmoreland neighborhood. Officers responded to 911 calls about a disturbance and hearing gunshots around 7 last night in the 2800 block of East Markward Street. On scene, officers encountered a man leaving the home with injuries. He told police he had been assaulted by another man and a firearm was involved. After officers attempted to make contact with anyone else in the residence, Joplin SWAT was called in. Officers then executed a search warrant, but found the home was empty. Authorities respond to reports of a disturbance this morning at the Route 66 Coin Laundry on East 7th Street in Dunnawig. Police say the owner arrived at his business to encounter a masked man attempting to burglarize the laundromat. During the struggle, the owner was shot in the hand, suffering a serious injury. The suspect then ran from the laundromat. This is a developing story. You can find more details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's go ahead and check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a gloomy Friday for us today. Temperatures, though, right about where we should be for this time of the year. 47 was our high. Look, we stayed in the 40s through the night into the daytime hours. 46 is our average high. Now, we had the clouds. We had a little bit of drizzle. We had fog last night, and we're going to get the fog again tonight. Not as widespread, but we are going to have patchy, dense fog, mainly developing after midnight. And we are going to have some areas that visibilities will be under a half a mile into tomorrow morning. So if you are going to be out, watch out for that. By 11, 42, 39 by 7. Overnight low, right around 36 degrees. But you're going to like this. We get partly sunny skies tomorrow. We go into the upper 50s for afternoon highs. In fact, by Sunday, even warmer, into the mid 60s for highs. So we're going to break down this forecast for you here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, see you soon. Visitors to the Galena Mining and Historical Museum get to take a trip back in time. The museum itself is a part of Kansas history. Originally used as a train depot for the Katy Railroad Company, the building has been used as the museum since 1984. Some of the featured items visitors can find are wanted posters for notorious outlaw Jesse James and Belle Starr, antique automobiles, some of old Galena and Joplin newspapers, and even some original cameras used right here at KOAM. The museum is open from Monday through Friday from 1 until 4 p.m. Some students at Fairview Elementary in Carthage used paper airplanes to make an important decision today. The kiddos made paper airplanes with a specific destination written on each one. Whichever plane flew the furthest would be this year's destination for Tiger Air.
One of our Title I teachers, her husband, built us a wooden airplane that seats an entire class, and so we put it up down in our safe room, and all the students come as a class and they board the airplane, they receive snacks. Our Title I teachers are the flight attendants, and they fly to the country, they learn about the country.
Tiger Air is an in-depth, immersive social studies activity to help students learn more about a country, its culture, and language. Local leaders from small businesses, education, and economic development gathered today in Carthage for a legislative review. Senator Jill Carter and Representative Kathy Jo Loy were in attendance to hear feedback from members of Carthage to work towards improving the community. Senator Jill Carter spoke on her sponsored bill 58, which would allow Missouri Governor Kehoe to work with other states to enhance border security. It would also increase criminal punishments for illegal immigrants. The goal of the meeting was to hear from local voices.
I think the feedback was helpful. I think we're on the right track with what we shared. You know, the feedback was positive. Just continue to have those conversations about as the policy moves along to ensure that it does represent the people of our community.
Senator Jill Carter encourages people to participate in the Citizens Advisory Board to make their opinions heard. Coming up, a study in Nature Medicine analyzed over 1 million pregnancies in Denmark to find links between women's medical conditions and autism.
A new type of pill is promising to tackle pain without risk of addiction. I'm Chanley Painter with an inside look at the medical breakthrough coming up.
But up first, many public health experts warn about the addictive potential of powerful opioid painkillers. Many public health experts continue warning of the potential addictive qualities behind powerful opioid painkillers. To help provide relief without the risk of abuse or overdose, one pharmaceutical company is revealing its new pill designed to not trigger those dangers. Fox's News' Chanley Painter takes a closer look.
A new pill is raising some hopes as public health experts keep combating the nation's deadly opioid crisis. The Food and Drug Administration on Thursday approved Vertex Pharmaceuticals' painkiller called Jurnavix. It's designed to treat moderate pain without the risk of addiction and overdose, often linked to opioid medications.
The FDA has just approved a medication for pain following an injury or surgery. We call that acute pain. That is not an opiate.
While opioids are effective at reducing severe pain after surgery or injuries, they can lead to addiction. Doctors say this is because of the process the drugs can trigger in the brain that releases the feel-good chemical dopamine. Jurnavix works differently.
They tried a new approach here by looking at mechanisms by which the drug works that's elsewhere in the body besides in the brain. So it really works on the peripheral nerves, less so than like an opioid that would work centrally in your brain.
Advocates say the pill could help doctors prescribe fewer opioids. It could also provide more options for people who can't take other types of medications for pain.
Each of us are different, and we need as many options as possible to manage acute pain for our patients.
Meanwhile, common reported side effects include nausea, itching, and headaches.
I think in time there's a chance that this science going in this direction could possibly replace opioids, but it's a little premature to say that.
But the scientific breakthrough may cost folks a pretty penny. The pills come with a list price of more than $15 a pop. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
A study in Nature Medicine analyzed over 1 million pregnancies in Denmark, checking women's medical records for more than 1,700 conditions to find links to autism. Researchers identified solid links with only 30 conditions. They compared pregnancies resulting in autistic children to those of their siblings and found that only fetal-related complications were involved. The authors call for further research to confirm these findings and explore potential links between a mother's health and a child's autism risk. Scientists at the University of Exeter in England say the environment in your mouth that lets bacteria grow may cause loss of brain functioning, leading to dementia in later life. The researchers studied mouth bacteria of 120 patients. They found about half of them had mild cognitive impairment, which may increase someone's risk for dementia. The study says so far, researchers have only made links of bacteria to cognitive health and not direct proof that some bacteria actually causes mental decline. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a small town takes a big step after years without a fire station. Residents made their voices heard. Why space issues and safety concerns led to a major change. That story coming up.
Well, of course, it is Friday, the last day of January. Gloomy one for us today. Clouds, drizzle. We had fog, especially through the morning hours. It looks pretty good right now. We are going to get some patchy fog once again in here as we go through the overnight hours. So if you are going to be on the roadways late tonight into the morning hours, watch out for that for sure. All right, temperatures down to 39 by 7 a.m. We'll have some fog. Overnight low, I think, right about 36 degrees. As we get into the overnight hours. All right, so this fog really starts to build in after midnight. Not near as widespread as what we had yesterday or last night, but we are going to have some patchy dense fog where it drops below half of a mile, maybe below of a quarter of a mile. So watch out for that as that pushes through late tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's what's going to burn it off. Southerly winds start to kick in, gusts 20, 25 to 30 on your Saturday, but in return, that warms our temperatures up. It's still going to be breezy on Sunday, just not as bad. We'll have south winds 15 upwards to about 20 miles per hour. All right, one storm system working out. You can see the rain now that we've had over the past couple days along the eastern seaboard. Here's our next storm system, but any rain or snow is mainly going to track across the northern parts of the plains. For us, we are going to get some clouds in here, especially by Sunday and Monday. Let's walk through time. By morning, upper 30s to near 40. You can see the fog across the region. Watch it burn off. So by the noon hour, partly sunny skies, we should be into lower 50s. And then by the afternoon, pretty good. 57 in Lamar, Neosho, 59 at Grand Lake, Parsons, up to about 59 degrees. All right, Saturday night, partly cloudy, not as cold. We drop back into the mid 40s for overnight lows, but check out Sunday. You're going to like this. 64, 65 degrees, which is pretty good for this time of the year. So 59 on Saturday. A few more clouds on Sunday, but our high temp of 64 degrees. It gets even better. Let's go into your Monday. We are going to have partly cloudy skies, but temperatures should go upper 60s to near 70. Our southern counties, you may press 70 degrees. Cold front rolls in on Tuesday. We get some showers, so our temperatures dip. It looks like it will stay all rain. Showers stick around on Wednesday as this front just kind of hangs out on top of us. Even into Thursday, we'll have some showers, but our temperatures kind of up and down as we get into the middle part of next week. That system's going to clear out. We'll have another system we need to keep our eyes on as we go into Super Bowl weekend, which is next weekend. All right, 59 on your Saturday. Groundhog Day is on Sunday around here. Probably would see a shadow. 68 on Monday and high of only 45 Tuesday. Back to 68 on Wednesday, down to 50 on Thursday. So a roller coaster ride for us next week. Anthony?
A roller coaster indeed. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, from interest rates to Apple earnings to grocery prices, a lot is impacting your wallet. Plus, New Orleans is gearing up for the Super Bowl. That's next. Another test for interest rates. All eyes on Apple. Consumers sound off on DEI, and New Orleans gets ready for the Super Bowl. Fox's CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Another test for interest rates. The Fed's favorite inflation gauge, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, is released. It rose 0.3% last month. This result reduces the chance of another rate cut anytime soon. All eyes on Apple after earnings came in better than expected. The tech giant is going to have to calm investors' worries about stalled iPhone sales and a slow Apple Intelligence rollout. Shoppers still on the fence about diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Fox Digital spoke to shoppers who seem to care more about the price of groceries than who is hired.
What do you care more about, the price of groceries or DEI practices?
The price of groceries. The price of groceries.
Yeah.
Too much.
Too much?
I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm working. I have a little pension, and I can't make ends meet.
I mean, I don't see why you can't do both.
And New Orleans is getting ready for the Super Bowl, and businesses are gearing up for the tourist rush. With so much concentrated in the French Quarter, restaurant owners are urging people to venture out for a unique, authentic experience.
I think that's what sets New Orleans apart a little bit, is that, that neighborhood restaurant culture.
And don't forget to watch the Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th, only on Fox. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox News.
The president was joined by former North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, who the Senate confirmed to be the new Interior Secretary. Trump also took questions on his looming deadline of Saturday for tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China. Those tariffs are predicted to raise the prices of goods for Americans. The president has threatened tariffs against whole countries over illegal immigration and the spread of fentanyl. Coming up, a new addition to a small town in Missouri.
Liberal Fire District is getting a new fire station. I'm Lonnie Walton. I have the details coming up.
Fire District in Liberal, Missouri is breaking ground on a new fire station. This fire station is said to be the first fire station built since the fire district was formed in 1964. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has more.
This is a really big deal for this little town.
Bill Keltner is a board member for the Fire Protection District. He says this town has never had its own fire station. But why?
We just didn't have the money. We housed our trucks in the City of Liberals buildings.
Well, liberal buildings are another problem.
The fire chief says one of the bigger reasons why this is happening is because of space.
We're cramped. We're out of room. We've got more trucks than we have room for. We'd need to go downtown. I could show you.
And that's what we did. As you can see, the fire chief could barely get through the fire trucks.
We've got more trucks than we have room for. I've got some at my house, and we've long outgrown what we've got, our facilities.
And if you're worried about the cost, Henshaw says no worries. After all, it was the residents' choice.
We put a ballot measure on the ballot to go to a tax-supported fire district, and it passed overwhelmingly.
Kiltner says this relieves a lot of stress.
We needed more room to begin with, and we'll be able to have a training room and places to work on the trucks, and it'll just be a lot better facility for us than what we're in right now.
Reporting in Liberal, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The fire chief says they hope the building will be complete by the end of this year. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, 3 hostages are set to be freed under the Gaza ceasefire, including a father with missing children. The effort to bring all hostages home continues, and flights have resumed at Reagan National Airport after a deadly crash, and questions remain about what caused it.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
A preliminary report on the deadly aircraft collision will be ready in 30 days, raising new questions about air traffic control staffing and the helicopter's altitude. The NTSB has recovered the regional jet's black boxes and will analyze cockpit communications, landing gear, flight data, and debris to determine how the regional jet and military helicopter collided. Concerns have arisen after an FAA report indicated that one air traffic controller was managing the workload of 2 at the time of the accident. The exchange of hostages for prisoners continues to be a key part of a ceasefire agreement aimed at ending the deadliest and most destructive war fought between Israel and Hamas. So far, 15 hostages have been released from Gaza, and the 4th round of releases is set for Saturday. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has the latest.
The 3 hostages expected to be freed Saturday under the Gaza ceasefire agreement are Keith Siegel, Ofer Calderon, and Yarden Bibas. The men have become high-profile hostages as major campaigns have been called specifically for their release.
I am so emotional for the return of another 3 hostages, with God's blessing and with big hope.
Siegel is an Israeli-American citizen. Bibas is the father of the youngest captives held in Gaza, a baby who was only 9 months old when he was kidnapped with his 4-year-old brother at the time of the October 7th attacks. Hamas has claimed the 2 boys and their mother were killed in an Israeli airstrike, but Israel has not verified the claim. Around a third of some 80 people still held hostage in Gaza are believed to be dead, as the released hostages continue on their long road to recovery. Hospital officials say 5 Thai hostages who were released from Hamas captivity are stable.
They have suffered a lot, but we can emphasize the high spirit and how strong and resilient these people are.
Families expressing their thanks for the safe return of their loved ones.
President Trump, thank you. Thank you for your care and for making us all do the right thing.
Everyone remains focused on bringing all the hostages home.
Now we need the support of the nation more than ever, and we must continue until the return of the last hostage.
In the ceasefire's first phase, 33 Israeli captives are set to be freed, along with 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Doug is next with another look at your forecast. Plus, just in time for Groundhog Day, NOAA reveals the most accurate weather predicting groundhogs. Details coming up.
Well, of course, it is Friday, the last day of January. Gloomy one for us today. Clouds, drizzle. We had fog, especially through the morning hours. It looks pretty good right now. We are going to get some patchy fog once again in here as we go through the overnight hours. So if you are going to be on the roadways late tonight into the morning hours, watch out for that for sure. All right, temperatures down to 39 by 7 a.m. We'll have some fog. Overnight low, I think, right about 36 degrees. As we get into the overnight hours. All right, so this fog really starts to build in after midnight. Not near as widespread as what we had yesterday or last night, but we are going to have some patchy dense fog where it drops below half of a mile, maybe below a quarter of a mile. So watch out for that as that pushes through late tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's what's going to burn it off. Southerly winds start to kick in, gusts 20, 25 to 30 on your Saturday, but in return, that warms our temperatures up. It's still going to be breezy on Sunday, just not as bad. We'll have south winds 15 upwards to about 20 miles per hour. All right, one storm system working out. You can see the rain now that we've had over the past couple days along the eastern seaboard. Here's our next storm system, but any rain or snow is mainly going to track across the northern parts of the plains. For us, we are going to get some clouds in here, especially by Sunday and Monday. Let's walk through time. By morning, upper 30s to near 40. You can see the fog across the region. Watch it burn off. So by the noon hour, partly sunny skies, we should be into lower 50s. And then by the afternoon, pretty good. 57 at Lamar, Neosho, 59 at Grand Lake, Parsons, up to about 59 degrees. All right, Saturday night, partly cloudy, not as cold. We drop back into the mid 40s for overnight lows, but check out Sunday. You're going to like this. 64, 65 degrees, which is pretty good for this time of the year. So 59 on Saturday, a few more clouds on Sunday, but our high temp of 64 degrees. It gets even better. Let's go into your Monday. We are going to have partly cloudy skies, but temperatures should go upper 60s to near 70. Our southern counties, you may press 70 degrees. Cold front rolls in on Tuesday. We get some showers, so our temperatures dip. It looks like it will stay all rain. Showers stick around on Wednesday as this front just kind of hangs out on top of us. Even into Thursday, we'll have some showers, but our temperatures kind of up and down as we get into the middle part of next week. That system's going to clear out. We'll have another system we need to keep our eyes on as we go into Super Bowl weekend, which is next weekend. All right, 59 on your Saturday. Groundhog Day is on Sunday. Around here, probably would see a shadow. 68 on Monday and high of only 45 Tuesday. Back to 68 on Wednesday, down to 50 on Thursday. So a roller coaster ride for us next week. Anthony?
Yeah, Doug, loving those weekend temperatures, though. Thanks. Coming up in sports, college baseball season begins for Missouri Southern and Pitt State. We'll take a look at some of those final scores. Plus, Colgan and Girard basketball square off for a conference battle. Brock Baldridge has highlights from the game and more.
Roller coaster ride for us next week. Anthony?
The Colgan Lady Panthers face the Girard Lady Trojans for the first time this season. Both teams only have one loss on their record. This evening, both the boys and girls basketball teams from Colgan traveled to Girard to face the Trojans. Big time matchup in the CNC between the Colgan Panthers and the Girard Trojans. Starting in the first quarter, Colgan strikes first as Kyla Osborne shoots a three from the corner. She drains it. Lady Panthers go up 3-0, but then Girard finds some momentum early on. Here's Kennedy Keller with the layup plus the foul. She's fired up. A few possessions later, Erica Boatman fires a three from the top of the key, and that's money. Girard goes on an 11-0 run to start the game. Student section was a big factor in this one. We go to the second half. Janessa Davis drills a three from the wing. That's nothing but net. Colgan starts to find their rhythm here in the third quarter. Really nice pass here from Jacayla Davis over to Bella Escanio. She finishes underneath. Over to the fourth quarter now. Davis connects with Escanio again. All Colgan here in the second half. Lady Panthers beat Girard 48-29. Let's go to the boys' game. Colgan and Girard are each looking for a big conference win tonight. Early on here in this game, Kirsten Simmons is going to drive underneath, feeds Brock Riddell in the paint. Easy 2 points right there Then a few minutes later, Colgan's going to attack the basket once again inside the paint. This time, Will Strimmer gets fouled, and lucky bounce goes in. Girard got off to a slow start in this one, but the Trojans start to heat up. Cam Smith knocks down the really long three-pointer right there. That one was on target. Next Trojan possession, Scott Moore gets the offensive rebound and the putback plus the foul. That fires up the crowd. Girard back in it to tie this one up. Colgan finishes strong here in the end of the half. Nice pass over here to Joe Lomchek. He puts one off the glass for 2 points. And then in the closing seconds here, this ball's up for grabs. Brady Bodega has it. Outlet pass to Brady Crossland. Colgan wins a defensive battle. Panthers beat the Trojans 43-25. Well, can you believe it? Baseball and softball season is here in the 4 states. Both Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State begin the opening weekend of the 2025 seasons on neutral fields. The Missouri Southern Lions begin the year at the Dugan Invitational in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Lions face the Mule Riders to open the season for the 2nd year in a row. Southern got off to a hot start, and they continue to win this one 14-4 in 8 innings of play. Missouri Southern softball also getting their season underway. Missouri Southern is in Branson at the Branson Leadoff Classic. Southern facing Arkansas Monticello. Lions looked really good in both games of their doubleheader. Southern beats Monticello 6-1, and then the Lions beat Southwestern Oklahoma State 10-1. Southern back at it on the Diamond tomorrow at noon. Over to Edmond, Oklahoma. The Pitt State Gorillas kick off the season against Oklahoma Baptist. Gorillas start the year 1-0. Pitt State wins the game 7-1 over the Bison. PSU baseball will face East Central tomorrow at 12:30. And last but not least, the D2 First Pitch Invitational in Conroe, Texas. The Pitt State softball team starts the year against Angelo State. Gorillas get shut out in the first game 5-0, the final score there. However, Gorillas bounce back with a win tonight, beating St. Edwards 8-2. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are headed to New Orleans to play in Super Bowl 59 against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs just won their 3rd straight AFC championship last Sunday, and the national narrative is the Chiefs get all the calls. Apparently, that's the only reason they're good. But Mitch Holtis has a counter to that argument on this Minute with Mitch.
The Super Bowl bye week is so important. You can't win the game this week, but you can lose it if you don't prepare for the circus next week. But I'm ready to go attack the circus on the false narrative that the Chiefs get all the calls. Stop it. The Chiefs ranked 17th in the NFL this year in scoring drives in the regular season that were aided by penalties for first downs. 73 scoring drives, 17 penalties, percentage of 23.3%. Who got the most help? Wait for it. Buffalo, number 1 in the NFL with 28 penalties called for them, resulting in first downs on 86 scoring drives for a 33% ratio. By the way, Philadelphia was 12th in penalty help on scoring drives. Not a fan of the false narratives on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
Super Bowl 59, it's coming up next week.
Sure.
You can watch the game right here on Fox 14.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see Loma Holmes magic, and it's a rematch.
It is a rematch, so we'll see Philadelphia. We'll see if they can come back and get them, but or the Chiefs, who knows? Maybe they'll go 2-0 against them.
And three-peat, making history. That
There you
could. All right. We'll be right back. The Fire Aid benefit concert in Los Angeles featured iconic artists bringing people together through the power of music. Broadcast and streamed live on many platforms, the event raised attention and funds to help wildfire recovery and prevention efforts. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
More than 25 artists performing a one-night-only benefit concert from 2 venues, all to help those affected by the LA wildfires. We're at the Intuit Dome with a look at Fire Aid. Fire Aid, held at the Intuit Dome and Kia Forum, included Lady Gaga, Stevie Wonder, Rod Stewart, Pink, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Earth, Wind & Fire, Jelly Roll, Joni Mitchell, Katy Perry, No Doubt, Alanis Morissette, Billie Eilish, and Green Day, who shared how much it meant to them to be part of the event.
Looking at like how the fire department and how brave that those guys are that come in such dangerous circumstances and just really fight hard for the communities. It's a very small gesture that we're doing, but we realize that it's probably the most significant thing that we've ever done on stage.
May the good Lord be with you now.
Stewart was one of the first to join.
I'm a California and I don't sound like it, but you know, they were great days I had here. wonderful days. My children were born here, so of course I have to be here.
Producer Irving Azoff shared how quickly the show came together.
We were sitting at home as the tragedy unfolded. We were luckily not in a fire area, and my wife Shelley said we have to do something. And we're in the music business. What we know to do is a concert.
Those not in attendance could donate throughout the concert at fireaidla.org. 100% of the proceeds go to fire relief and prevention. LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer and his wife Connie already donated $15 million to wildfire relief and are matching all donations made during the live broadcast.
If you're not going to be philanthropic at this time, if we weren't going to be at this time, when would you do it if what you're trying to do is really support and help the people in your community?
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a parrot playing under a hose at Melbourne Zoo. Have a great night. With the end of what feels like a January that went on forever, Groundhog Day is upon us, and everyone wants to know, will the seer of seer see his shadow? But did you know that there are many weather predicting groundhogs? Jeremy Roth has this special report in today's Take a Look at This.
Just in time for Groundhog Day, the weirdest of weather predicting traditions, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has released a ranking of their top most accurate weather groundhogs, and the results may shock you. NOAA ranked the weather predicting accuracies of a total of 19 still working meteorological mascots with seer of seer careers of at least 20 years. Here are your top 5. Number 5 and 4 are actually a tie at 65% accuracy between Gertie the groundhog at Illinois' Wildlife Prairie Park and West Virginia's Concord Charlie, who's never actually been seen by the public and is listed as, quote, presumed groundhog. Seems legit. We are off to a great start. Number 3, with a 75% accuracy, is Lander Lil, a groundhog statue in Wyoming that doesn't even see a shadow, it simply casts one. It's science, people. Coming in at number 2 from Georgia, and with the most Georgia name ever, is General Beauregard Lee, who clocks in at 80% accurate. Bless his heart. And finally, NOAA's top-ranked weather groundhog is New York's own Staten Island Chuck. With a whopping 85% accuracy, you might be wondering, hey, how's this jowly jabroni do it? Oh, you know what? Forget about it. What you should be wondering is, where's Punxsutawney Phil, America's most famous woolly weather predictor? Sadly, Phil barely cracked the list at number 17 with a dismal accuracy of only 35%. Gobbler's Knob's hobnobbing celebrity may have friends in high places, but when it comes to weather, all due respect, it seems he doesn't know his bristly butt from the hole in the ground where he lives. Oh well, he always has his acting career. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Up next, a star-studded night for a critical cause. Music icons come together for Fire Aid, raising millions for wildfire relief.